there, neighbors. It's Nicole Fetter, your local Arizona realtor. Today, we are going to talk about steps to selling your home. Step 1, interview and choose a listing agent. Nicole Fetter for sure. Step 2, meet that agent at your home. During this time, your agent's going to go over stuff like a marketing plan, what repairs need to be made before you put your house on the market. They're going to talk to you about what upgrades you've done to the property, photos that will be taken before your house is on the market, what you should do before every showing when people come to tour your property. You're also going to go over listing price. Your agent is going to go over recently sold comps in the neighborhood to get a value of your home so you guys can decide together what your home should be listed at to start. So basically, during this first initial visit, your agent should go over all the expectations of the whole process. We don't want any surprises throughout the process. We want everything going as smoothly as possible. Step 3, after all major decisions have been agreed upon between you and your realtor, it's time to sign that listing paperwork and prep your home to sell. I'm not going to go into detail what prepping your home to sell means, but as a general rule, we're talking about making any repairs that were agreed upon between you and your realtor, cleaning the house so it looks immaculate, packing away any personal items, also having your checklist ready with everything you need to do before each and every showing of your home. That's going to be turning on all your lights, opening up the blinds, cleaning, make sure there's no foreign smells. And of course, this will vary a little bit what you do depending on your situation. If you don't live in the home, it's going to be different than if you live there. If you're at work, so it does vary some. Step 4, time to start marketing your property. And yes, this does start a few weeks before your house ever goes on the market. So you need to get that realtor sign in the ground. You need to make sure your realtor gets it on Coming Soon, Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, all the websites out there. Start creating buzz between not only your neighbors, but everybody online that this great house is coming. Professional photos are a must here. We don't want anybody coming out with their pocket cameras or worse than that, their cell phone and taking pictures. You do need to hire a professional. Your house needs to be show ready when they show up for that appointment. Meaning, if you need to hire a cleaner, hire a cleaner. You need to have all your personal items packed away. Landscape needs to look perfect. This is going to be the decision maker for people. It's what they first see, and it's going to help them decide if they want to physically come look at your property or if they want to skip it and move on to something else that meets their needs. Step 5, time to put your house on the market. Make it go live on the MLS and every other website. Houses for sale. Step 6, time to get showing. Get out that checklist we talked about. And you need to make sure you get a copy of a checklist from your realtor. Lights on, blinds open, no foreign smells, house clean, landscape trimmed. Take your pets out of the house for each and every showing. You need to remember, this is the difference between somebody buying your house and your neighbor's house. You want them to feel as comfortable as possible and to be able to imagine them and their family in your home. Step 7, receive and negotiate offers. This process can take a few days because you may not accept that initial offer. You may counter back, and each party usually gets 24 hours to respond to each contract. So after that's done and you've agreed upon terms and have an accepted contract, you move on to step 8, and that is opening escrow. Escrow is a neutral third party that holds funds from both sides throughout the transaction. The buyer's agent usually opens escrow, and traditionally the buyer gets to pick the escrow company, but again, they're a neutral third party, and they will hold the earnest money, which is usually deposited by the buyer between 24 and 48 hours of accepted contract. The amount is usually about 1% of the purchase price, and that money is just held in escrow to show that the buyer is serious about purchasing your home. Step 9. Time for you, the seller, to take care of your seller disclosure and 5-year claim history report. Let's start with a 5-year claim history report. This comes from your homeowner's insurance company. You're just going to have to call them, ask for it. They will know what it is. It usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to get a copy emailed to you, but it's to be given to the buyer within 5 days of opening the contract. It gives them a history of the 5 years of any claims have taken place on the property, what they are, and what the payout was if it did happen. After you've got that, you got your seller disclosure. This disclosure is again to give the buyer an idea of what's taken place or any repairs that may need to happen to the property. It is long and detailed. It's going to ask about the roof specifically, AC. You can put up any updates you've put in the house or any major repairs that you had to do. It'll even ask if you've had scorpions, rodents, you name it, it asks, and you are legally obligated to disclose it to the buyer. Step 10, inspection period and negotiating repairs. During the initial 10 days of the contract, your buyer has a 10-day inspection period. During those 10 days, they can cancel the contract for any reason and still get their earnest money back. Usually during that initial 10 days, the buyer will hire a professional home inspector to come in and look at the house very thoroughly. You need to be willing to work with that inspector so they can do a thorough job for the buyer, meaning you need to be out of that house for several hours at some point during that initial 10 days, also removing any pets that may be in the property as well. After that home inspection has taken place, the buyer can ask you to make repairs. This is a negotiation. You don't have to make any requests for repairs, but it's a negotiation to agree upon. If you don't, they can cancel the contract. If you do, and it's in writing, they can't cancel the contract. That will end that initial 10-day inspection period. Now that we're done with the inspection period and repair request, it's time to move on to step 11. Time for the buyer to order the appraisal. The appraisal is bought and paid for by the buyer, so they are no way obligated to give you a copy of that appraisal. But we will find out if it did come in at value. That would be purchase price, and that's really all that matters to us because we're under contract at this point. If it did come up over, then they get that equity. Step 12, it's time for you, the seller, to make any repairs that were agreed upon in that initial 10-day inspection period. Step 13, time for you, the seller, to get into escrow and sign the paperwork, taking title out of your name and putting it into the new buyer's name. Step 14, it's closing time. You need to be moved out of that property the day before closing, leaving it in as good, if not better condition than when they agreed upon purchasing the property. You also need to give over any keys, remotes, mail keys over to the listing agent so they can give them to their client. You're done. Escrow at this point will wire you the funds or send you a check with the proceeds depending on how you want to get it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please call, text, email, or direct message me if you have any questions. I'm always here to help with your home, buying and selling needs. Please remember to like and share this video with your friends and family. Help continue to educate them on the home buying and selling process. And remember,
go better with better. You'll love her forever. She'll get you a home today.